Okay, so I asked you guys for your predictions for this Dillian Whyte Joseph Parker fight. 3,000 of you voted, and out of that 3,000, 25% said Whyte by KO, 10% said Parker by KO, 24% said Whyte on points, and 36% said Parker on points, with 4% saying a draw or technical decision. So this is pretty much split 50-50 down the line, right? Because the overall the overall percentage of people who think Dillian Whyte is going to win is 49%. And the overall percentage of people who think Parker's going to win is 46%. So slightly more people think Dillian Whyte is going to win than Joseph Parker. But the most popular prediction is Parker on points with 36%. Very, very, very interesting. Also interesting is the fact that more than twice as many people are picking Whyte by KO than Parker. So clearly people believe in Dillian Whyte's punching power more than they believe in Joseph Parker's punching power. Yeah. People have seen Parker go the distance with Andy Ruiz, Carlos Takam, Kajanu, who was one of Joseph Parker's sparring partners. He went the distance with him too. So people, it seems, are not particularly impressed by Joseph Parker's punching power, but they are quite impressed, at least of late, with Dillian Whyte's punching power, the way he knocked out Lucas Browne in such spectacular fashion, with, as I say, 4% going for the draw or technical decision. Now, I concur with this overall percentage of people in terms of the split, who's going to win. I concur with that because I think it's a very competitive fight and a difficult fight to pick. But one thing I might disagree with is who is more likely to win by KO. First of all, I think this fight is going to go to points. I think that's the most likely outcome. Whether it's Whyte who wins or Parker who wins, I think it's going to go to points. But in terms of far more people thinking Whyte will win by KO than Parker, Whyte has been knocked out before. He was knocked out by Joshua, right? Now, Parker didn't get hit very often by Joshua with very many clean punches. So we can't say that Parker's chin is any better than Dillian Whyte's chin, because Parker's chin really hasn't been tested that often. Yeah, they say he's never been down in sparring and never been down amateur or pro. Okay, that's cool. But we need to see him get hit often by some seriously big punches to know whether his chin is as good as David Higgins, his manager, claims it is. So we don't know if Parker's chin is as good as Whyte's chin is. But the reason that I think Parker, I don't think either one of these guys is going to win by KO. I think it's potential, it's heavyweights at the end of the day, but that's not the outcome I'd be picking. I wouldn't be picking Parker or Whyte to win this fight by KO. But when we're talking about probabilities, I think Parker is slightly more likely to win by KO than Dillian Whyte, because of the fact that Parker's never been knocked out before, so he doesn't have that in his head. And also, because Parker is the much faster of the two. If either one of these guys gets knocked out in this fight, I doubt it's going to happen from one punch. Yeah? At least not when they're fresh. It's going to take a combination of punches. It's going to take one of the guys to get hurt and then the other guy to go in there and steaming in, landing lots, multiple headshots. That's what it's going to take for a knockout or a stoppage to happen in this fight. And with Joseph Parker being the faster guy who can unload combinations, very, very quickly, I think he has the potential to overwhelm Dillian Whyte more than Dillian Whyte has the potential to overwhelm him. Dillian Whyte is not slow by any means, but he's not as explosive as Joseph Parker is, when Parker's punching in combination. Parker's actually pretty awesome when he's opening up. Like if you saw the Carlos Takam fight, he was opening up. It was pretty impressive, but it has to be said, Takam didn't go down. Takam got laid out by Povetkin. Takam got dropped by Joshua. But when Joseph Parker emptied the tank on Carlos Takam, Takam didn't go down. His knees wobbled a little bit, but he didn't go down. So that doesn't really bode well for Joseph Parker in terms of his punching power going up against Dillian Whyte. Because Dillian Whyte does have a good chin. He was rocked against Hellenius in the opening round briefly. He was buzzed. and he was obviously stopped by Joshua, but he only got knocked out by Joshua after taking countless flush punches from Anthony Joshua over the course of the fight. So both guys have got good chins, but I just feel like Parker's extra speed, extra hand speed and combination punching might give him a slight better chance of scoring a knockout in the fight. That's what I feel. Parker can survive. You know, we saw him against Carlos Takam where he was gassed out after about 4 rounds in the fight, and he managed to survive it. And he obviously went 12 rounds with Joshua. If Parker needs to, if he gets hurt and he feels like he's in trouble, Parker can get on his bike. And if he gets on his bike, I don't think Dillian Whyte will be able to finish him, even if he hurts him. So, yeah, that's what I would say about that. In terms of Whyte and Parker on points, you got a lot more people picking Parker on points than Whyte. And I'm also not sure about that, you know? I'm also not sure about that. Dillian Whyte has got the longer arms. If Dillian Whyte boxes a sensible fight and doesn't try and go for it too much, I think it's a realistic possibility for Dillian Whyte to win on points. You know, Joseph Parker is not that good a long-range boxer. He's a decent long-range boxer, but he's not that good. You know, was he that effective boxing long range against Carlos Takam? I don't think he was that effective. He was decent, but he wasn't that great. And Dillian Whyte is a much better long range boxer, certainly on the front foot, than Carlos Takam, in terms of how effective he is with long range punches. Takam is a very difficult guy to tag clean when he's coming forward at you. That's one thing I will say. Dillian Whyte might be easier to tag clean on the front foot than Carlos Takam is. But in terms of landing punches at long range, Dillian Whyte is better at that than Carlos Takam. Right? So if Takam was having success landing shots on Joseph Parker at, you know, mid-range, long range, then I don't see why Dillian Whyte can't, especially with Dillian Whyte's jab. So, no, I can see a Dillian Whyte points victory as something that could realistically happen. Yeah, I think that should maybe be a bit closer in my opinion. But who knows, man? It's all guesswork at the moment. We won't know exactly what's what until the fight takes place. Interestingly, and maybe some of you guys can give me the exact figures on this, but interestingly, the bookies in the UK have apparently made Joseph Parker a pretty solid favorite to win this fight. So, yeah, as I say, maybe some of you guys or one of you guys can tell me what the odds are. I haven't checked myself, but what are the odds for Dillian Whyte versus Joseph Parker in the UK, the betting odds with the bookies? Anyway, let's get to some comments here. Let's see what people are saying, who they think is going to win and why, by what method. So here, oldest first. Jake Price says Whyte by KO. Stop underestimating white people. I've backed him since he lost to Joshua, etc. All right. Well, I guess he's talking to other people, not me, because I was telling people, and this, you know, I was telling people before the Dillian Whyte Anthony Joshua fight, I made a video saying that, in fact, let me get the video up. All right, this video right here. Yeah, I made this video 29th of April 2015. This was made several months prior to Anthony Joshua versus Dillian Whyte, which happened, I believe, in November of this year, right? November 2015. And in this video, I said that I'm looking forward to Anthony Joshua versus Dillian Whyte more than I was looking forward to Mayweather Pacquiao. Yeah. And people ridiculed me for this video. People said, oh, Dillian Whyte's going to get knocked out in 1 round. Dillian Whyte's garbage. This is what they were saying. They were saying, you're lying, Hatman. How can you say you're looking forward to you're looking forward to Joshua versus Whyte more than Mayweather Pacquiao? You're lying. No, I wasn't lying. Because I knew that Mayweather Pacquiao would not be a competitive fight. But I knew that Joshua versus Dillian Whyte would be. Yeah, because I knew about the character of Dillian Whyte. I'd watched his interviews for so long. I've seen and heard about who he'd sparred and how he'd done in training camps and all that kind of business. I was paying attention. So I knew, and also I knew the history of heavyweight boxing. When you get 2 young guys who are hungry, who are aggressive, who have history from the amateurs, and they're early on in their careers, that's when you tend to get good fights. And that's why predicted in this video. Go watch this video. All right, 10 fights I prefer over Mayweather versus Pacquiao. In this video from April 2015, I said I am looking forward to Anthony Joshua versus Dillian Whyte more than I'm looking forward to Mayweather Pacquiao. Facts. The video's right there. It's right here. Anyway, let's get back to the program. All right, so let's get back to some more comments here. Where are we? Whyte on points. He says it really depends how Parker fights. Yeah, I think it depends on how Parker fights. If Parker fights more defensively, in and out, uses his feet to offset Dillian Whyte's punching power, then I think Parker's got a good chance of winning the fight on points. But this guy says, although I do believe Parker would start on the back foot and use his better footwork and faster hands to frustrate Dillian, the issue is whether he would be disciplined and fight that way the whole time. Yeah, that is the issue, because he received a lot of criticism for fighting that way against Joshua, and he's fighting away from home at the end of the day, so he's not sure if he can fight that negatively again and get a decision. That has to be said. Here's another donut saying Whyte is ducking Ortiz, another fool. Oh man, these people are so foolish. Gary Whitehead says Whyte by KO. Kieran McDonald said, I'd advise Parker to try and box Whyte and come forward sporadically. Yeah, that's what I would advise too. That's what I would advise too. You know, if I was training Parker, I would advise to be in and out, come forward sporadically, sometimes apply pressure, just use his feet, just make foot speed and balance an issue. Mess around with the range. That's what I would advise for Parker. And for Dillian Whyte, the opposite. For Dillian Whyte, try and get Parker to be stationary. Gold Joseph Parker. Bring him in. Call him into a fight. So Dillian Whyte, you know, we know Dillian Whyte is a guy who likes to get aggressive with his opponents and stuff like that and what have you. He needs to do that, I think, more in the lead up to this Joseph Parker fight. He needs to get under Parker's skin and get Parker to be aggressive in the ring, because that's going to help Dillian Whyte. Because Parker's the guy who I think has the faster feet. He can move around more on his back foot. On his back foot. So Dillian Whyte don't want him to do that. He wants him to stand with him, be more stationary and fight him, or even box with him at long range, but in a more stationary fashion. That benefits Dillian Whyte. So yeah, Dillian Whyte, by whatever means necessary, needs to get Joseph Parker to stand still so we can get them body shots off, the jabs, you know, the right hands, even the hooks and uppercuts on the inside, all that stuff. Okay, this person says Whyte by KO. Parker is an excellent boxer, but I just feel Dillian's current mindset and approach to the sport makes him dangerous, as it seems to be improving. You never know, because Parker is nothing to play with, as proven in the AJ fight. But I'm rooting for... Okay, I don't know why my comments don't show properly here. Disappointing. Anyway, yeah, thank you for the comment there. Okay, this person says Parker on points. AJ couldn't hurt Parker, and yet Whyte is meant to knock him out. Biased UK fans as always. AJ couldn't hurt Parker, but to be fair, AJ never caught Parker as often as he caught Dillian Whyte. You know, that's just facts. How many times did AJ catch Parker with a clean punch? Hardly at all. But he caught Dillian Whyte with loads of clean punches throughout the 7 rounds. So it's not really a fair comparison, to be honest with you. Martin says, I think it's a really tough one to call, but I fancy Parker to just be a little bit too slick and pull it off. Yeah, I could see that. Somebody's getting knocked out, and I think Parker is slightly better, so I slightly lose him. Okay. Ryan Ruse says, just feel like this one will go the distance with Whyte taking the decision by being the more active guy. Okay. Okay, this person says Parker by KO. Parker will beat the seat out of Whyte. Not sure what that means, but okay. Parker on points. Whyte by KO. Dude hit hard and vicious to the body and seems to be getting better all the time. In my eyes, Parker lost the fight to Fury but got the decision, then lost to Joshua. I think he is on a downward slope and Dillian is rising. Alright, fair comment. This person says Parker on points. Okay. This person says Lucas Brown 2.0, White by KO. I totally disagree with that. I think Joseph Parker is way, way better than Lucas Brown. I don't think they're even in the same universe as fighters. I think Parker's just way better than Lucas Brown at this point. Way better. In every way other than maybe just sheer punching power. But in every other way, he's better than Brown. Okay. This guy says White on points, White every time. My favorite boxer regardless of skill. This person says White on points, matchroom robbery. Okay. Okay. What else is here? White by KO. And I'll be honest, I'll be surprised if Dillian Whyte wins this fight by KO. Yeah. Not to say he doesn't have the power, but I just feel like Parker is going to be able to survive any crisis. He'll be able to move out of the way. He's got quick feet. He's strong enough to tie up. I'll be surprised if Joseph Parker gets knocked out. Being honest, I'll be very surprised. I think he can survive any kind of crisis that occurs in this fight. Okay, Devon Sinclair says, I've seen White rocked by Chisora Helenius and Joshua knocked him out clean. If Chisora rocks you, that's not a good sign, and I expect Parker to catch White with a flurry and possibly take Dillian out. Great fight and respect to them both. Yeah, he's picking Parker by KO, and as I said before, I definitely think that Parker has a better chance of a KO in this fight than Dillian Whyte, but I reckon the fight's probably going to go to points. Whoever wins, I think it will probably be on points. But yeah, I'd say Parker has a slightly better chance at a KO than Dillian Whyte. Because, not really because of the chins, right? Because as I say, Parker's chin hasn't been tested the way Dillian Whyte's chin has been tested. It just hasn't. But I think Parker maybe is a bit better defensively than Dillian Whyte. Maybe, he is better defensively. He can get away from shots better and survive. Whereas Dillian Whyte, in some of his fights, he's been open to get hit with these big shots. Whereas Joseph Parker uses his feet and gets out of the way, and he's a bit more difficult to catch and more difficult to finish. Okay, Pretty Boy Fizzy says Parker on points. Parker just a better boxer overall. Okay, Edgar says Whyte by KO. Parker has never been a risk. Parker lost to Hughie Fury. Well, very different style to Hughie Fury though. So, Dillian Whyte and Hughie Fury are chalk and cheese. They're nothing alike. Anyway, yeah, those were your predictions for this Dillian Whyte Joseph Parker fight. I'll do my prediction in future. But thank you for all you guys who participated in the poll. Catch you on the next vid. It's Hatman. I'm out.